It is moving a little bit faster than we had earlier anticipated, and now we're going to take a look at the radar to see where the center of the storm is and what appears to be the outer eye wall here. It is just off of southeast areas of Ocean City in Maryland. We're going to get a little bit closer there, and you'll see that what appears to be the eye, and with its motion to the north-northeast at 16 miles an hour, that was the latest from the National Hurricane Center, and with winds at 80 miles an hour, it remains a Category 1, and it continues to move up along the coast. On this track, we're expecting it to make landfall around Cape May, let's say 4 a.m., so slightly earlier, and that bodes well because with our high tides between essentially 6 and 8 a.m., the storm surge would come in a little bit earlier and maybe help us in terms of flooding from the storm surge. Now what you're looking at here is a rotation that, well, not rotation, don't want you to get panicked here, but you can see the motion of this to the north and west, and we're seeing some bands of heavier rain, and that's what you see indicated by the red. That is the Garden State Parkway just north of Ocean City that you see, and these rain cells, heavy downpours coming down just west of there. So let's get a little bit closer and you'll be able to see if you're in Buna, it's heading in your direction to the northwest. We're expecting these bands to be pulling through. Millville having heavier rain, and in Vineland. And here's the situation. We've seen in these areas a good 2, 3, 4 inches of rain, and so we're adding to the numbers, and we'll continue to do so as this treks up along the coast. So it's going to be some time before we're out of this. Even with the eye passing close by early in the morning, we're still going to have flooding issues for well into the next several days. So let's take a look at the winds, and the strongest winds we're expecting will be here essentially between 3 and 8 a.m. Let's go to our maps and give it a look. You can see that the storm will continue to move up to the north and east, and then eventually the winds will shift. They'll shift to the northwest, and that's going to help us out as well, because then you won't be having strictly an onshore flow between that and the storm moving through. We'll be looking at winds shifting to the northwest, and that should help us a bit as we go in through Sunday morning. Maybe by the afternoon, we'll actually be seeing sun in our area as our winds decrease rapidly. And the winds really do depend on the heights. The higher up you go, the more wind that you'll be dealing with. The atmosphere is kind of interesting if you look at it as a layer cake. And on the very bottom is the surface winds. And we're expecting to see some tropical storm force surface winds. And then every bit higher, and we know this is heading toward the Manhattan area, you're looking at a 30-story building will see 20% higher winds. You get up to the buildings like you have in Manhattan, 80 to 100-story buildings, and we're talking 30% higher winds. So that's why there's still concerns there. And of course, as they prepare for big uppings next week, of course, 9/11, and I hear they had to take some cranes down from that area as they prepared for this nasty storm conditions to be pushing through. So they're going to be dealing with that during the day tomorrow. For us, this will be something earlier in the day, and we'll be watching the winds as well as we watch these bands of rain continue through the overnight hours, and of course flooding for the next couple of days along the creeks and rivers.
All right, tracking Hurricane Irene. Sally Ann, thank you.